we all love cornbread, or a lot of us, okay? But sometimes as the weather starts to warm up, we still want our beans and greens and our cornbread, but who wants to heat up their oven all the time? So today we are going to make the most amazing cornbread right on top of the stove. And no, I am not talking about hot water cornbread or cornbread pancakes. This is your regular, round, nice piece of cornbread, okay? No oven at all. We're gonna cook it right here on top of our stove. So if you want to know how to make cornbread on top of the stove and a whole lot of other things, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Let me bring you up closer so we can get started. All right, so the ingredients are your basic cornmeal ingredients, nothing fancy here because we are cooking this on top of the stove and that's what it's all about today. So right here I have some cornmeal mix. This is actually cornmeal mix. For my oil that's going in my cornbread, I am going to be using Strength Genesis macadamia nut oil. Now you can use butter, you can use vegetable oil. Lately, I have been getting away from any seed oil, so it would be this or coconut oil for me or butter. You will still need some butter. That's going to be for your skillet though. And you're going to need your egg, your milk. And I am using buttermilk, but because I don't use buttermilk a lot, I like to use buttermilk powder. Now I can find this in my local store. If you can't, you can find it online. So we're going to go ahead and get this mixed up. The full recipe, just go to pamspreps.com. All right, so let's go ahead and get this made up. I like to make sure that my egg is lightly beaten. This is the egg going in. It does not need to go in any particular order. This is the buttermilk powder. Milk. And oil. Go ahead and make sure this is well combined. Okay, once it is well combined, then you just want to let it sit for about 5 or 6 minutes. Let it rest. Let some of that cornmeal soak up the liquid. This is going to make sure that you get maximum crown on your cornbread. So we're going to let this sit for about 5 minutes and we'll be back. You want a nice heavy skillet that has a lid to it. You want to take and put butter in it. This is about 2 tablespoons of butter. You want to melt this butter and make sure that the butter gets all on the sides of your pan. So before it completely melts, take a fork, put a fork in it, and rub it around your skillet. Okay? Now you could do this part before you actually put it on the stove if you like. You just want to make sure that you have enough on the sides as well. You can also let it melt and you can just rotate it around, or you can take a brush and brush it around. Not only is this butter going to give it another layer of flavor, but it will also help it cook and brown nicely. Okay, now right before it's time to put our batter in our skillet, remember we let it sit for 5 minutes so that we can get that maximum rise on it. Go ahead and you want to go in and give it another good stir, okay? You will notice how it has soaked up some of your liquid as you're stirring it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pour this in. And then cover it with a top, and now we wait. Okay, so we have been cooking for probably just about 20 minutes, and you can see how it has risen. we need to flip it, okay? We need to make sure that the bottom isn't overly brown, but it's brown, and we need to brown this side. So I'm just going to go around. I have a rubber spatula. It is still on the eye. And I am just going around just to make sure that hopefully it'll come out. Okay, all right? It's one thing about doing something like this, you never know when you get ready to flip it. So that's why we use so much butter on it to make sure. Now, for me, the easiest way to flip it is going to be by putting a plate on top of it and flipping it. Put this plate on top of it, just like this. And you will need pot holders and whatever else because everything is hot, okay? So I'm going to use a towel, and I'm going to use this this mitt on this hand. Hold the plate pressed down tight, okay? And then the skillet is heavy because my skillet is cast iron. So we flip it over on a cold part of the stove and hope it comes out of here. Oh, okay. It's a little browner than I like, but that's okay. It's nice. Okay, I left it on there just a tad bit longer, but that's okay. So now we're going to put it down because the bottom, what's on the bottom here is really the top. So this is actually the bottom, so who cares? Okay? All right, so put it back in there best you can like that. We're going to cover it up again for probably maybe just about 2 or 3 minutes. We just want to get the top side brown. So we'll be back. Okay, so we are pretty much done, but we have to flip it one more time because we were browning the top. So let's take the top off of this. And as I said before, what would be my bottom actually got browner than I'd like. It happens, okay? Take yours off a little bit sooner, all right? I went and did something else in my house, and that's what happened, okay? So we're going to flip it. But it's all good. It's all good. We are going to flip this over so we can have the right side up. Then we're going to put some honey butter on it. Okay. Okay. All right. Look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? Oh my goodness. It's nice and golden brown. Ooh, I can take these off now because the plate's not hot. Let me move these to the side. Look, doesn't that look amazing? Oh my goodness. Put it right here in the center. Smells good. Okay, I'm just poking holes in here. As you can see, the toothpick is coming out clean. That means it's done all the way through. I'm just poking holes around. That kind of helps some of the butter and honey seep down into it and just go all through it. Okay, so we're going to do that right quick. Then we'll do our taste test. And while we're doing this, if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today here in my kitchen. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Please take a second and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 1.5 million subscribers. Oh my goodness. If you are returning, thank you so much. And channel members, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Don't forget to check out my other channels, Pam's POV, Pam's Pop-Ups, and At the Scaredy Cat Gardener, all on YouTube. Yes, I like to put a little honey butter on the sides too. Put it all over. Just let it sink in. Ooh, could have me a cup of coffee with this. You don't have to turn your oven on. Get your house all hot when it gets up to 100 degrees, but you know you really want some cornbread. Oh, yes. And with this, depending on how many people you have and everything, you got leftovers. You know it freezes well too. Okay? All right, I think that's good. Let's get it cut. Oh my goodness. Okay. Woo. Smells delicious. Oh my goodness. Need something to lift this up out of here with. Get y'all to see what it looks like on the inside. Ooh. Look. Doesn't that look good? Look. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Let's taste it. Oh my goodness. Fluffy and light. Ooh. I didn't put any sugar in there, but I will add that as an option when I put the recipe. And the recipe you can find at pamspreps.com. I don't tend to like it sweet with the honey butter on top. That's enough for me. But if you do want yours, I will put how much to put in there as well. And it'll go in with everything else and just mix it all together. Okay, I will see you all next time. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Bye-bye.